So imagine this. You've got David Niven, Deborah Kerr, mistaken pills,
Lots of aspirins.
secret affairs, and a whole lot of babies. Sounds like the setup to a soap opera, right? No, it's actually the 1968 British comedy Prudence and the Pill, a film that somehow manages to be both charmingly old-fashioned and quietly chaotic.
But I don't think it's got anything to do with you.
This movie is a time capsule of swinging 60s London, repressed upper-crust manners,
What precautions? Theno.
and contraceptive confusion on a Shakespearean scale. And today, we're diving headfirst into the best and most ridiculous parts of this gloriously tangled farce. Buckle in, because no one escapes parenthood in this one.
I mean that Rose is going to have a baby.
Let's start with the cast. David Niven plays the stiff upper-lip banker Gerald Hardcastle, and Deborah Kerr, yes, that Deborah Kerr, as his long-suffering wife, Prudence.
Well, I still think it looks more like a horse than a woman.
Possibly you understand horses better.
They live together unhappily in a posh home, sleep in separate rooms,
Your telegraph, madam.
Thank you, Rose.
Your time, sir.
Thank you, Rose.
and communicate like colleagues who've just finished a bad merger. Their marriage is on life support, but rather than confront their problems head-on, they opt for elaborate games of deception and denial.
I happen to know that Hewitt has been giving you prescriptions for what is known as the pill.
I shall cite your little friend, Elizabeth.
Now, while Gerald and Prudence are technically the central couple, this movie throws in 4 other couples, all of whom are either scheming, pretending, or completely oblivious. The common thread? Every single one of them is trying to avoid pregnancy, all thanks to a fictional birth control pill called Theno, and every single one of them fails spectacularly.
It can't be true. I only have a certain amount.
For the simple reason that I've been replacing them with aspirin.
Gerald, ever the traditionalist, is having an affair with a stylish French woman named Liz, played by Irina Demick.
Of course you could do what Geraldine did.
What Geraldine did?
You say she wants a child by someone else?
Liz is elegant, patient, and remarkably tolerant of being kept hidden like a family embarrassment.
Giving them to Rose, and Rose were changing them for Prudence's vitamins. Aspirins, I mean.
Meanwhile, Prudence has found comfort in the arms and prescription pad of Dr. Alan Hewitt. Yes, her doctor. He's suave, charming, and handing out Theno like breath mints.
He's got to be civilized about it. I want to get married, and I want to marry his wife.
Then we've got the domestic staff. Rose, the maid, played with innocence and perfect comic timing by Vickery Turner, and Ted the chauffeur, played by Hugh Armstrong.
Theno, the very latest thing. One every evening without fail.
These two are perhaps the most endearing pair of the bunch, trying to do the responsible thing in secret. Ted assumes Rose is too old-fashioned to handle the idea of contraception,
Now, all you've got to do is take the vitamin B tablets out of this bottle, put the Theno tablets in this bottle, and there you are. It's in the bag.
so he slips her the pill disguised as vitamins. But Rose, worried about getting pregnant, switches the pills with Prudence's Theno, unaware that Gerald has already swapped those pills with aspirin to trap his wife.
Something called a phenol tablet, sir.
Rose has a supply of Theno tablets?
Sir, but I did, sir.
The result? Rose gets pregnant with twins.
Ted was giving me vitamin tablets. Ted's a staunch believer in vitamins, sir.
And yes, that's only couple number 3.
Where are you getting the...
Then there's Gerald's brother, Henry, and his wife, Grace. Grace, played by the wonderful Joyce Redman, is quietly efficient and determined not to have any more children. But her daughter, Geraldine, played by a very mischievous Judy Geeson, has other ideas.
Mother, I'm not a child.
Geraldine secretly swaps her mother's Theno for aspirin so she can take the real pills herself. Predictably, Grace ends up pregnant.
Well, what do I want with another child at my age?
When Geraldine finally confesses, it kicks off a whole domino effect of pill-swapping, secret-spilling madness.
I'll give you some interesting news. Grace is expecting another child.
Good heavens.
This brings us back to Gerald,
Aspirins, precisely. Large bottle.
who decides to use Geraldine's trick on Prudence. He replaces her pills with aspirin, waiting to catch her out in her affair with Dr. Hewitt. But he couldn't predict that Rose would switch the pills for her vitamins,
I happen to know that Hewitt has been giving you prescriptions for what is known as the pill.
meaning Prudence is still taking Theno until she isn't. It's like watching a very polite British version of Inception, but instead of dreams within dreams, it's pills within pill bottles.
Look, I'm in a meeting. What is it?
I thought it would be a good idea if we were to meet and discuss things.
Prudence offers to take the blame for the affair if Gerald will protect Hewitt's reputation. Gerald agrees, not exactly thrilled, until he runs into Liz in town, who tells him she's having his baby too.
I wait a baby. You and me are going to have a baby, a child.
Suddenly, everything changes. Gerald sees a future with Liz and a child, and is suddenly very on board with divorce.
I'll let you into a secret.
You see, I'm about to become a father.
By the time the credits roll, 6 babies have arrived. 1 for Prudence, 1 for Liz, 1 for Grace, 1 for Geraldine, and 2, yes, 2 for Rose. It's the most British baby boom you've ever seen, all wrapped up in polite dialogue, knowing glances, and mild scandal. Filming took place mostly in London, with elegant interiors that reflect the Hardcastle's upper crust lifestyle. The city provides a crisp, stylish backdrop with enough vintage charm to make every scene feel like an elaborate stage play.
You intend me to make a public announcement of this at dinner? Why not?
It's not flashy, but it doesn't need to be. The real drama is happening in the drawing rooms.
I'm back.
Oh, good.
Critically, Prudence and The Pill landed somewhere in the middle. Audiences appreciated the charm and the wit, and the cast was undeniably strong. Deborah Kerr and David Niven bring a level of class and chemistry that elevates even the silliest plot twists. But some critics felt the film danced too carefully around its central subject. The premise was bold for 1968, but the execution stayed safely within the bounds of British restraint. Witty, but never too cheeky. At the box office, the film did reasonably well, especially considering the slightly taboo subject matter for the time. It wasn't a smash hit, but the curiosity factor, along with the stellar cast, helped it draw in crowds on both sides of the Atlantic. In the end, Prudence and The Pill is a comedy of errors, manners, and medicine. It's not about the pill so much as the panic, secrecy, and sheer lunacy people wrap around it. It's a film where everyone's lying to everyone else, but in the most polite way possible, and somehow, in the middle of all that chaos, it manages to be both a satire and a celebration of the absurd lengths people will go to in order to control what, in the end, they really can't. It's Farce with a capital F, delivered with perfect British precision, and maybe just a wink.
Who? No, tell him to take an aspirin and lie down. I'll call him later.